Imagine an empire that emerged from the harshest landscape on Earth, transforming from a collection of warring tribes to the largest contiguous land empire in human history. This is the extraordinary story of Genghis Khan, a name that would reshape the world in ways no one could have predicted. The Mongolian steppe was never a place for the weak. Stretching across an endless horizon of windswept grasslands, this unforgiving landscape was a crucible of human survival. Here, temperatures could plummet to -40 degrees in winter and soar to scorching heat in summer. Only the most resilient could survive, and from this environment emerged the most remarkable military force in human history. Long before Genghis Khan became a legendary conqueror, the Mongolian tribes were locked in a seemingly endless cycle of conflict. Tribes like the Tatars, Karaites, Naimans, and Mongols constantly fought for limited resources. Water, grazing lands, and survival were constant struggles. Each tribe was a world unto itself, with complex social structures and deep-rooted rivalries that seemed impossible to overcome. Temujin's early life was a testament to human resilience. Born around 1162, he was not born into privilege, but into a world of constant danger. His father, a tribal chief, was murdered when Temujin was just 9 years old. Suddenly, his family was cast out, reduced to survival on the margins of tribal society. Imagine being a child in this harsh environment, where each day was a battle for survival. The young Temujin experienced slavery, poverty, and the constant threat of death. He was captured and enslaved by a rival clan, experiencing humiliation and hardship that would have broken most people. But these challenges didn't destroy him. They forged him into a strategic mastermind. His first revolutionary concept was meritocracy, a radical departure from the inherited leadership of most medieval societies. While other kingdoms relied on bloodlines and aristocratic privilege, Temujin promoted people based on skill, loyalty, and performance. A soldier could rise through the ranks based on talent, not family name. This was revolutionary in a world where social mobility was virtually non-existent. The Mongol military was a machine of unprecedented sophistication. Their horses were smaller than European war horses, but incredibly resilient. A Mongol warrior could ride for days, carrying minimal supplies, moving with a speed and flexibility that seemed almost supernatural to their enemies. They could cover up to 100 miles per day, a distance that would take other armies weeks. Their archery skills were legendary. Mongol warriors could shoot arrows with devastating accuracy while riding at full gallop, a technique called the Parthian shot. Their composite bows, crafted from layers of wood, bone, and sinew, could shoot further and with more power than any contemporary weapon. A skilled archer could hit a target accurately from hundreds of yards away while moving at full speed. The Battle of the Kalka River in 1223 would become a legendary example of Mongol military brilliance. Imagine a crisp morning in what is now Ukraine, where a massive Russian and Kipchak army stood confident, outnumbering the Mongol forces nearly 3-1. The Russian princes, led by Mstislav the Bold and Mstislav of Chernigov, believed their superior numbers guaranteed victory. The Mongol force, led by Subutai and Jabi, two of Genghis Khan's most brilliant generals, appeared to be retreating. But this was no ordinary retreat. It was a calculated trap that would become a masterclass in military deception. As the Russian army pursued what they believed was a fleeing enemy, the Mongols executed a strategy that would become legendary. Their light cavalry moved with impossible speed and precision. Mounted on small, agile horses, the Mongol warriors could change direction in an instant. They would fire volleys of arrows while seemingly running away, a technique that confused and demoralized their enemies. Each arrow found its mark with terrifying accuracy, while the Russian heavy cavalry struggled to maintain formation. The battlefield became a deadly dance. The Mongols would draw the Russian forces into narrow, carefully selected terrain. Steep riverbanks and strategic high ground became their ally. Where other armies saw obstacles, the Mongols saw opportunities for tactical advantage. By midday, the Russian army was in complete disarray. Their heavy armor, once considered an advantage, became a fatal burden. Mongol warriors darted between formations, striking with precision and speed that seemed almost supernatural. The Russian princes watched in horror as their seemingly invincible army was systematically dismantled. When the battle concluded, the scale of destruction was unprecedented. Thousands of Russian soldiers lay dead with minimal Mongol casualties. The Russian princes were captured and executed in a manner that would become part of Mongol legend, rolled up in carpets and trampled by horses, ensuring they would not be touched by blood, a superstitious practice that avoided direct contact with royal blood. This single battle was more than a military victory. It was a message to the world. The Mongols were not just another conquering army. They were a force that could transform warfare itself, using intelligence, speed, and psychological warfare in ways no one had ever seen before. Communication was another key to their success. The YAM system was the world's first sophisticated international communication network. Imagine a relay of horse-mounted messengers that could transmit information across thousands of miles faster than any civilization had ever done. Messages that would have taken months could now be delivered in days, creating an unprecedented level of coordination. Religious tolerance was another remarkable aspect of the Mongol Empire. While European kingdoms were engaged in religious wars, the Mongols practiced a form of religious freedom centuries ahead of their time. They believed different spiritual paths could coexist, understanding that diversity could be a strength, not a weakness. The economic impact was equally staggering. The Silk Road, which had existed for centuries, was transformed under Mongol control. Merchants could now travel thousands of miles with unprecedented safety. Ideas, technologies, and cultures flowed more freely than ever before. Silk from China, spices from India, ceramics, silver, and gold could now move across continents with ease. Their legal system, the Yasa, was sophisticated and progressive. It established clear rules about property, prohibited stealing, and created a meritocratic system where anyone could rise based on their abilities. This was radical for a time when most societies were rigidly hierarchical. By the time of Genghis Khan's death, the Mongol Empire covered more contiguous land than any empire in human history. At its peak, it stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe, encompassing nearly 24 million square kilometers. To put this in perspective, this was larger than the entire African continent. Genetic studies have revealed an astonishing fact. Approximately 16 million men alive today are direct descendants of Genghis Khan. This isn't just a historical footnote, it's a testament to the massive demographic impact of the Mongol conquests. But perhaps the most extraordinary aspect of the Mongol Empire was not its size, but its lasting impact on human civilization. They didn't just conquer, they connected. They created the first truly global network, breaking down cultural barriers and facilitating an unprecedented exchange of ideas, technologies, and human potential.